Good morning. It is 6:44 a.m. I have really I'm normally an early riser, but I've really struggled to get up this summer. When I was in Tennessee, it was even harder because we're an hour behind from Connecticut. But yeah, I said I was going to get on here and talk more about attachment theory and my experience. Oh, by the way, you're probably wondering why am I outside? Why is she outside? I just finished doing my booty workout. Not booty workout, but BUTI. So when I was in Tennessee, I was introduced to booty classes. I had never heard of it before. It's like a form of yoga that's kind of tribal, intuitive, and it's quick. It's really good for if you have ADHD, because as soon as you feel oh, I can't go on, that shit is too much for me, it switches up. So I'm obsessed with it now. Shout out to Athena. Thank you so much for putting me on. So I just finished doing that, and yeah, attachment theory. So, fearful avoidant. And you're probably wondering, if you know anything about attachment theory, you're probably wondering, well, how did you get there? No, I didn't have severely abusive parents. Were they as emotionally connected? I would say my mother was, maybe not so much my father. And I don't blame him. He had to always really lock in. He's law enforcement, and sometimes when you're law enforcement, you can't be one way at home, and in the streets another thing. But I think my attachment style formed. I think I started out anxious, and transitioned into fearful avoidant from an abusive relationship. And normally I try not to talk about past abuse, just for the simple fact that, I for people I'm close with, they know, but just for the simple fact that I don't want any future men to listen to it and think, oh, I can treat her that way. And that's a real thing where, men who know that you've been abused will, try you. And that could be my attachment style talking. I don't know, but I don't think it is, because I've experienced it and I've heard other women talk about it. Okay. So, I first started looking at attachment theory, after I, broke up with my son's father that was 2015, right? And I just wanted to understand myself and know why I connect with people who cannot connect with me, or give me what I needed. And again, I don't plan on going too much detail about that connection, because I still have to co-parent, and that can be tricky. But I can't go into detail on other things, but I think that my relationship when I was 18 years old really did a number on me, and it left me in a state where, well, not just that one, but all the other relationships after that, one after the other, just left me in a state of betrayal and not understanding where I wanted to go with the connection. It always felt like a constant gotcha. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And when you're fearful avoidant, you do that, where you may test sometimes. I was telling a friend the other day, I went through a dating phase, probably 2017, where I would go on these dates And I'm a damn good detective, guys. If you ask my friends, if my friends can tell you in the chat, in the comments, I'm a damn good detective. Like, and so I went through a phase where, and it's a waste of your own time. Like, to be avoidant in any kind of way is a waste of your own time. Now, I'm not like the dismissive avoidant, and I know I'm like spinning in circles here because I haven't even broke down the attachment styles yet, but specifically, I can't speak for dismissive avoidant, but everybody with insecure attachment style, which you call these attachment styles that are not secure, insecure, okay? So everyone with an insecure attachment style does some form of testing or protest behavior, right? Which just means another way to keep you from truly connecting. So the testing is, a way to basically fulfill your core wound, right? So your core wound for anxious attachment is, I'm going to be abandoned. Well, they're all around abandonment. So for anxious is really abandonment, right? Fearful avoidant is abandonment and betrayal. And dismissive avoidant is also abandonment, but also engulfment. Like, they don't want to lose themselves in a connection. So for me, I went through a dating phase where in 2017 where I would be like, how long can it take to find out that this person is lying to me? And of course, I'm an energetic person. And I should have known, like, whatever you're focused on is what you're going to attract, right? So I should have known, like, hey, you're probably going to attract this if this is your mindset around it. But I would encounter these men and I would be like, okay, let me do dive on this man. And then, so it became like a fun little game where I was like, you're married, you're in a long-term relationship, or I know you're dating this person, you told me you weren't talking to anybody. And so it got to a point where, like, I'm going out, like, I'm talking to these guys, I'm vibing with them. Then we go out on a date and I'm like, how's Amy? And they were like, how do you know about this person? And those things kept me stuck. They kept me stuck. Again, like, I plan to go into more detail about that. I know this was a shitty video for breaking that down, but I just wanted to kind of touch on it because I know I said I would talk about it, and I'll get more organized with it, but I think it's time to talk about it. I think I talk about it a lot with my friends. I think a lot of people don't know. I feel like I was blind to this for so long, and those are the kind of things that terrify me. What kind of knowledge am I blind to that I don't know? Like, you ever see somebody in straight up Delulu land and you're like, ooh, what am I that blind about? And there are things that I know that I've been delusional about. Like, I have suffered from limerence. I had a very long limerence episode, like, off and on, like, limerent object, and I'll go into that in another video. Won't be naming any names. He knows who he is, and he knows, I don't think he understands that it was limerence, but yeah, that's ended, and hopefully that will never happen again or relapse again. But yeah, this is the beginning of me talking about it. I think talking about stuff is part of healing it. I think I'm there for everybody, and I have room to talk to everyone, and I don't always feel like I have the space to talk. So this is me talking about it. It's beginning.